Okay, we can be heard now. Hello everyone, welcome in. We are moved over to Mario Dark Star Edition. I have myself, Sakura here as Lotus as commentators, and Lotus is here as well. Lotus, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and run.
Hello everyone, I am Lotus, and I am a speedrunner of Paper Mario Dark Star Edition.
Thank you. You can continue, it's fine.
Alright. So Paper Mario Dark Star Edition is a ROM hack of Paper Mario developed by Shadeblade, and it was released, I believe, in 2021, if not 2022. So it is more than 3 years old. And the run that we're going to be doing is actually called Light and Darkness. It'll be apparent when we actually select our file. So, are we good for the countdown?
Yeah, I think so. I'll just quickly,
Yes.
Hi, I'm Krakka. You know me as one of the Fangame Marathon admin tech crew people. I'll be helping with commentary with my fiance Sakura. We both know Paper Mario pretty well, so he volunteered to help with some commentary for Lotus. We'll be hanging out here too. Okay, let me get the timer ready.
Alright, we will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. Alright, so there is actually something that I need to start right away, but the first part that we're going to see right there is the Temple of Darkness. Now, I want you to take note of this head bar that we see at the top, because when we trigger a room transition here, it's going to be a blink and you miss it. So, we'll spin into it. Did you see it?
Where'd it go?
I'll show it again. Where did my star power go? I've got no star power.
The star power disappeared.
Wow.
So, the lore behind this is that the Temple of Darkness is one of the few places in the world where the star spirits have no power. So, we cannot use the star spirits at all here.
Pretty cool.
Oh, wow! Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Now, there is actually a fight that you need to do the Temple of to get into the Temple of Darkness, but for run purposes, we've actually already cleared that fight, and I don't want to spoil that one because it spoils many other fights throughout the story. So, if you want to see those fights, you have to play it yourself. But for the first room, we need to trigger a switch and then get past the gate before it closes. And with that, we tornado jump, and we've gotten the first boss. This is the Dark Traveler, and its gimmick is that, first off, after every round, it gets +1 attack, and after it attacks, it can create and shift around solid voids. So we'll see it right here. So it just created one. Now, those solid voids don't pose any direct threat to us, but what they do is make the Traveler harder to target. So, the strategy to get through it is to use attacks that can hit the Traveler regardless of where it is. So, the badge we're using for damage here is Recoil Throw. This is a new badge added, and it is a very powerful badge. So, what it does is it lets you hit an enemy with the hammer no matter where it is. The damage for it is the hammer's value +8, and gets an additional +1 against aerial enemies. However, Mario takes damage equal to the base of the hammer, which is 6. And then that damage is boosted by Mario's attack boost. Now, my badge build here has Recoil Throw, Double Dip. Oh, there's a Super Guard. The Shield Stone is one of the items I already have, and this is what lets me perform Super Guards. But there's Double Dip, Quick Change, Auto Dodge, which enables all guarding to be done automatically. 2 damage dodges, Pity Flower, Perfect Stand, Dark Power and Dark Saber. But that's the Dark Traveler. So that's 1 down, and there are a total of 7 trials that we need to clear before we can enter the final room. So now we just backtrack out. And now we go to the second room. And we are going to do this in the quote-unquote intended order. Now, you see how these platforms are still moving? Yeah. If we are in one of the menus, like the partner menu, these platforms are still moving. So we actually have to move with the platforms. Now, jumping into hazards, including this dark goo, or whatever it's called, any hazard deals 2 damage to Mario in this game, whereas in the base game, it's 1. And we're going to use Paracarry to float across right here. Now we have to stay closer to the edge because we do not want to encounter that enemy. That is a dark bubble. And we absolutely don't want to deal with those. There we go, we got through. Okay, so now we can change our badges, and we don't want recoil throw. We gotta remove the damage dodges, auto dodge, double dip, pity flower, perfect stand, and dark saver. In their place, we're gonna add mega smash, the second power plus, PFD down, perfect rush, and then head start. And then we switch our partner to Goombario here. So this is the Dark Shield Bearer. And its gimmick, and I absolutely forgot to heal. So this is going to be a mess. Its gimmick, though, is that after each round it's able to move, it gets +2 unpierceable defense. So we need to hit hard and fast. Now, because I ended up messing up here, and because I don't have double dip, I need to use a dual jelly here. Otherwise, I should have just done it at the start of the room before entering this fight. But now it has 4 defense. So our damage is down to 14 now. And 6. But this is still enough. So now it has 6 defense. But now we have 12 and 4 for a KO. Now if I had started with full HP, then I would have been able to take advantage of Perfect Rush there. Perfect Rush gives +2 attack if you have full HP. Now I didn't explain the dual jellies that I've been using, but they restore 40 HP and 40 FP. And then after they're consumed, FP and 20 FP. So this is the best item that you can be using for healing in the case of this speedrun, because then you don't have to restock your items. And we'll just use Lackluster to get out of here quickly. The next room, we've got to be very careful with, because there are some pretty terrifying enemies here. We've got really fast Dark Glubbas, and then we especially want to avoid the Insanity Daisy and the Dark Sentinels. So the Dark Sentinels are a very terrifying one, because although they only have 12 HP and 0 defense, they have a unique armor that makes it so that any strike against it only deals 1 damage. So we gotta be pretty careful. And there we go, we got through. Okay, now we can switch our badges again. So now we get rid of Mega Smash, we get rid of, not the Power Pluses, PFD down, Perfect Rush, don't get rid of Dark Power, and there we go. We are going to add Truth Stomp. We're going to re-add Double Dip and Auto Dodge, because we need those now. Takes quite a bit to remember everything here. Yep, we add both damage dodges. We're going to add Pity Flower, and we'll add Perfect Stand. Now, if you know the game's sequel, The Thousand Year Door, you're probably going to ask, Lotus, why the hell are you using Pity Flower? It sucks. No, not in Darkstar. So, for context, in Thousand Year Door, the game's sequel, Pity Flower is widely regarded as the worst badge in the game. And that's because it's a 1 in 3 chance to restore 1 FP after Mario takes damage. But in Darkstar, not only is it guaranteed to proc, but it restores FP equal to half the damage taken, and I totally just missed that power beam. So the Collective's gimmick is that each time it takes damage, it spawns a fragment, which spawns in the battle invisible. And that's why we're using Power Beam here. The fragments spawned share the same attack boost that the Collective has. And after fragments attack, they heal the Collective for 4 HP. So this is why we're trying to get rid of them quickly. And as you're noticing, the Collective also gains +1 attack after every round. So, this is why we're still doing more damage, because Truth Stomp does more damage based on the enemy's buffs, and it also pierces invisibility. But it has a max boost of +6. So now we're up to 16. And actually, we're going to use Hustle Spell here. So now we're going to have 2 actions in the next turn. And we're going to do this because we want to heal up. And then we can use Truth Stomp after. So we'll Truth Stomp first, actually. So 17 is the maximum. And darn antivirus. Terrible timing.
Oh no, not the antivirus.
Oh no.
Don't worry, I stopped it quickly. So. Alright. There we go. Now, to explain Super Guarding, it cuts damage in half. And it cuts the enemy's attack essentially in half when it's incoming damage. So I believe we're up to like 15 attack here. But with Super Guarding and our defense, we're essentially cutting it down to 3. So it really does make a big difference if you can get it. But that's the Dark Collective. And now we gotta watch out for the enemies on the way out. So, because this fight can spiral out of control quickly if we don't get out of here quickly, as you can see. Now this attack inflicts dizziness if you don't block it, so this is another reason to have what's it called? Auto dodge. So this really does not want me to run away. There we go. Finally. Third try. Once we get out of these rooms, though, then we can safely change our badge build because the next rooms that we're going to don't have any enemies. So, we'll actually use a half jelly immediately. And now we're going to switch our badges up again. We're going to remove Quick Change this time because we're not going to need it. But we are going to remove everything else. And then we're going to add Mega Jump. And then we're going to add Head Start again, which gives us 2 actions instead of 1 on the first turn. And then we're going to add Zap Tap. Zap Tap gives us permanent electric status, which is important because this next fight, the enemy is electric. So the puzzle here is that you need to be pressing these colored switches. Oh. So what I accidentally opened up there is called the Warpstone menu. And we'll actually be using it to get out of here once we're done. But we're still a ways away. But once again, we go through another room where we are switching the walls color. Now the next fight we're going to be going through is called the Dark Aspirant. This enemy is electric, so this is why we need Zap Tap. And its gimmick is that after each time it attacks, it charges power. The charged power lets it use stronger attacks. And if it charges enough power, it will unleash its strongest attack, which is unavoidable, but removes all charge. However, the attack in question also pierces invisibility, so we don't want to be dealing with that. And we won't have to deal with it using this build. But Bo is our partner because we need to use Curse. So Curse drops the enemy's defense for 2 full rounds. So we will get essentially 4 mega jumps in. And hitting 15 is crucial here. Because when combined with Fan Smack, we have exactly enough damage to KO in 3 turns. And as you can see, each strike is going to remove 1 charge. So now it has 8. It has 6 charge. But again, we're not going to see other attacks because we have a KO right here. So it's a very, very quick fight once you have it. Now we're going to use another dual jelly immediately. And we're going to actually change just Mega Jump right now for Mega Smash. And this is important in case we encounter the regular enemies in the following rooms. Because if you remember that dark bubble we avoided, we're going to be much less fortunate here. But to get through, you have to basically just do parkour. And if you miss, well, you miss. That was a very good first room. But this is why we have Bo out. To get them to look away. And this fight is one terrifying fight. But half of the Dark Bubble fights have 3 Dark Bubbles in this formation with a Dark Goomba. And then the other ones have just 2 Dark Bubbles. But fortunately, because I'm still electric, I can still counter Dark Goombas. But we're going to Tidal Wave here. Ah, that could have been better. I'm going to use Mega Smash just to KO things quickly. But as you can see, the Dark Bubbles deal damage to your flower points. So that's the reason why we have to deal with it quickly. Alright. Now, actually, I'm going to keep Sushi out. So the thing about Dark Bubbles is that they divide. Now, because I don't have Feeling Fine equipped, Sushi's taken out of commission for 3 turns, which just makes this fight drag on longer. This fight can be annoying to Super Guard. Now, I'm sure you'd probably ask, Lotus, why aren't you using Ice Power? And that is a valid question, but not a good question here. Because the Dark Bubbles are too hot to jump on with Ice Power. So we can't use that. But the good part here is that now that that's out of the way, yeah, this gets very laggy once there are things like coins about. You can tell just how laggy this room gets. Now, actually, I'm going to get rid of Zap Tab so I can get Quick Change on. If there's one badge that is very much not negotiable, it's Quick Change. Now we're going to just double Mega Smash here. So this is one fight that we could just immediately just pummel down. And it's nice to get one of them out of the way. And there we go. Okay, so now that that's done, now we can switch our items up. And we're going to use the next dual jelly too, just to get our flower points back. So, we still need Mega Smash and all those anyways, and we still need our two things, our two Power Pluses. But now what we need to add are the damage dodges for defense and Feeling Fine. Feeling Fine got majorly buffed in Dark Star Edition, because not only does it protect Mario from status, it protects his partner from status too. In other words, from being taken out of commission. And we have Cooper out because his Shell Toss attack, when he's upgraded, drops enemy defense by 1 for 1 turn. The Dark Revenant's gimmick is that the first 3 times its HP is brought to 0, it gets all of its HP back, more HP, and uses stronger attacks. So right now we're in phase 2, where its attack is 10. And with this next attack right here, we're now in phase 3, where it has 60 HP, and it now has 15 attack. You can tell just how much stronger it is. So we're going to take one more round, unless we were to Super Guard. But since we didn't, that's okay. But we're going to first use a Yoshi Biscuit, which is a new item added. It restores 15 HP and FP, and it makes your next item twice as effective. So we're going to use it in conjunction with a cake. The Ultra Shroom Cake restores 15 HP and 15 FP over the next 3 turns, but when used with a Yoshi Biscuit, that regen lasts 6 turns. So as you can see, we just got automatic regen. Now we're actually going to use Goombario. We're going to Mega Bonk. So that was previously Multi Bonk in the base game, if you know, but it was changed to Mega Bonk. Multi Bonk is actually kind of broken in the base game. But now we're in the final phase, where it now has 80 HP and 20 attack. So with 3 defense, we drop it down to 17. So we're effectively only taking 2 damage with the cake regen active. And at this point, we just continue attacking. I always have a tough time trying to super guard that attack, And it's an absolute chore to try to do. But now it's down to 30 HP, so we're getting close. 2 more turns and we'll be done with the Revenant. There we go. Can't believe I got that.
Heck yeah.
So now just one more round. And then we'll just use a regular hammer to finish it. So, that's the Dark Revenant. And then we switch back to Lackluster to get out. We'll use the half jelly immediately, and we can also change our badge build immediately because the next rooms don't have any enemies. This time though, we're going to remove our attack boosts, and we're going to add multi-bounce, and we're going to add both defend pluses, so we're going to play with a defense build on purpose here, and then Dark Saber. So Dark Saber reduces your move costs by 1 flower point, but it doubles the cost of star powers. But here, it's just a really cheap flower saver, because you can't use your star powers. And then I didn't explain Dark Power, but Dark Power gives you +1 attack if your star power is 25% or less. And then if it's 50% or more, then it will decrease your attack by 1 instead. But again, here, since you can't use your star powers and you have no star energy, it's basically a cheaper power plus. But we can't have a very big attack stat here. So, for here, we have to time things carefully. This platform is kind of thin, so that's why I'm trying to go slowly. There we go. And that's the first room. Now the second room is just a pain to get through. Wow, I usually always have to take multiple tries to get that first switch hit. Oops, I don't want sushi. I don't want bow either. What am I doing? There we go. I want Watt because you can switch the light platforms and the dark platforms. But now we switch to Bombette. There we go. There's no shame in going slowly across those thin platforms, so don't be afraid to take it slow. There we go. Now we need Paracarry. You can tell this room has a lot of partner uses. Then we go across. Go right here. Now we're going to need to hit from the other side, but we have to do it twice. And we got to be quick. There we go, we got it. Drop on bed right there. And then we can switch to Watt to go across the light platform. And then we get just to the middle. And there we go, we get across. So right here, there's actually a part where both the red and blue platforms meet, so if we just stand there, then once we actually hit the switch, then we can get across. And the partner we want to use here is Lackluster. So this is the Dark Summoner. And its gimmick is that it summons these bits. They are what attack us. Now, it seems weird that I didn't hit a couple of them, but that's why we're using Spiny Surge. So, the bits that are summoned have unique defensive traits that you have to deal with. The red bit that was just summoned, that can only be KO'd by an attack that deals exact damage. So in this case, 5. The blue bit that was struck first from multi-bounce, if that one has full HP, it is immune to attacks that would KO it. The yellow bit always takes 2 hits to KO regardless of your strength. And the green bit only takes 1 damage per instance. So, the strat here is to have diverse damage options and make sure you can deal 5 damage consistently, which, fortunately, because these are aerial enemies, and Spiny Surge is a throw move, they take +1 damage from throws, so that is just enough to KO the red bit. And as you can see, the red bit is always what the summoner summons first. So, as long as we can just keep KOing the red bit, then we'll literally not take any more damage in this fight. And so one more. Now we got one more round. And that's the Dark Summoner. If you fail to KO a bit, when the Dark Summoner's turn comes around, then it will summon a different one. And if it has all 4 bits active at the start of its turn, then what's going to happen is it's going to increase the attack of all bits by 2. So, yeah, don't want that. So for the next one, we are going to switch up our badges immediately. There's no reason for us not to, and we don't need Feeling Fine. At least not now. But we go Mega Jump, and we're actually going to go Pity Flower, we're going to add Defend Plus, and then we are going to add Perfect Saver. So, we have to avoid the enemies here too. But the gimmick of these rooms is that you light up the path to see it. You don't actually have to do this first part, but you will want to know how I need to traverse it. And then from there, you try to get across. We absolutely have to avoid the Zatars that are in these rooms, because they are another fight that can completely spiral out of control if you're not careful. And there's one hazard miss. There's 2 hazard misses. There we go. There, that's room 1. Now the second room is bigger. So here's the path that I need to traverse. So, now we'll try. This one I'm more likely to mess up. But if you could get to that halfway point, that's your signal to get off of Lackluster. Because otherwise, if you mess up, you have to go from the beginning. Oop, went too far there. Using the back bricks that are at the wall there, that is your visual cue for horizontal alignment. But then you kind of have to guess it a little bit in the case of the other. But once you're through, you fight Dark Replicator. Its gimmick is that it creates dark replications. Now these replications, they get stronger the more HP that they're missing. Their base attack is 5, but it goes up to 10. And if you fail to KO a replication during your turn, then the replicator will spend its turn healing all replications. Now, one thing I did not mention is something called the Curse Challenge. This is when you equip the Curse badges that are available that multiply the enemy HP, their attack, and star point gain. And this fight specifically is one that is very much not designed for the Curse Challenge. Because as you're seeing, the Replicator loses 1 HP for each replication it creates, but when it has more HP, it can create more replications. Yeah. So I'm not going to get a KO this turn. So, because of that, it just healed all of them for 8. Fortunately, their attack is pretty easy to super guard. But we do 13. And then Power Bomb does 7. So that's exactly enough to KO. And now we're going to use our second Yoshi Biscuit and Ultra Shroom Cake. And this way then we could just keep attacking for the rest of the way. So at this point, now we just Mega Jump and Power Bomb continuously. There we go. So now we'll get 2 KOs. And then we're going to get 2 KOs the following turn as well. Because we can Mega Jump again. It's always nice when math works out precisely like this. So we're getting close. Yeah, the fun fact about this fight is that in the Curse Challenge, this fight can have by far the highest health that you could ever have to deal with in a single fight if you equipped all curses. Because that would multiply their health by 9. So each replication would have 180 health, and the replicator himself would be able to create 180 clones. So you could have a total HP to deal with here of 32,400. And now at this point we're just going to use regular bomb to finish him. And there we go. So that is the 7th trial. And then we'll switch our badges once we're out of here, because we do not want to be encountering the Zatars. I didn't actually explain their kind of thing, because it may seem like they're not very threatening, given they only have 7 HP and 0 defense, but they have a unique defensive property. They're immune to all non-lethal damage. So, yeah. Alright, so I don't believe I have too many things to change here. Yeah, I need to keep the Defend Plus, keep Perfect Saber. What I need to add now is Recoil Throw, because we're going to need to hit hard and fast. And then we're going to add Power Plus. So that'll just give us one extra attack to get through the fight quicker. So, your power has been proven. Now take the central path. The next step is to ascend, face the remnant of his wrath. And we'll actually use our dual jelly here. And then we'll switch to bow as well. So now, we're at the top of the temple. With his final breath, he called forth a weapon, one that could cause death and bring the world to reckon. It would remain sealed until this text is revealed. Now the world shall yield. And this is Shadeblade.
Oh my god, it's Exor.
Also, shoutouts to anyone who can figure out what the song is. Or at least what the song is based on. But our strat here is we need to hit hard and fast. Now you can target the blade or the head, but we're going to always target the head because the head has one less defense than the blade. Its gimmick, though, is that first off, its attacks get stronger as time goes on. And it's spiky against frontal strikes, so we don't want to use a hammer directly. So we'll keep going, and we're going to use dual jelly to get our HP and FP back, and then hustle drinks. So a hustle drink was actually previously in the base game. It at least was coded, but it was never used. So we can use 2 recoil throws this turn. So you saw that the fire shot did 8, whereas before it did 2. As for lightning, it's going to hit 2. Alright. So this will deal 8 as well. And now we're going to double dip, Yoshi Biscuit, and Golden Shroom Cake. So this will give us 25 HP and 25 FP for the next 6 turns. Now, get your clips ready, because you absolutely need to be ready for this one. We're going to first hustle spell, but this is where the real fun of the fight begins. So, we're on turn 7. What is it doing? Reality is tearing apart. You can no longer press B. So, I'm trying to back out of this, and I can't. And if you want to make it even more apparent, let's try Sushi's Tidal Wave. I can't press B. So this Tidal Wave's going to do nothing. And I could show that because I know that I'm going to have enough damage. So don't worry. We'll be fine. But the fire shot now hits for 14. Oh, also, we can't super guard anymore either, because that also involves the B button. But we can continue spamming Hustle Spell now, and Recoil Throw. So it's now 3 Lightning Bolts. And then the next is the Ice Shot, which will deal 14 damage. And we'll switch to Goombario so then we can just maximize our damage. So next one is going to be the Fire Shot again, and this time it's going to deal 20. But we have enough damage to KO on the following turn. So, Recoil Throw. And Mega Bomb. So that concludes the Temple of Darkness, but there is more to come. The Dark Blade is dead, an outcome he did not foresee. Only one thing can be said. GG. So we have to get the Knowledge Stone, and we will just show it. So, you want the source code? Here's your link. And now we're going to get out of here, because now we're going to restock our inventory. And I'm going to just get rid of both of these half jellies. I need to heal up anyways, and might as well just get rid of them. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to check in any remaining dual jellies. We don't need them now. And that's all we want to check in. And now we're going to claim, in order, we're going to claim our other 2 hustle drinks. And then we'll claim the Yoshi biscuits. And then the cakes that we have. So we're just basically replacing the Yoshi biscuits and cakes that we had. Then we get our Miracle Golden. That item restores 99 HP, 99 FP, cures any statuses, including attack and defense debuffs, and also gives you the Miracle effect, which lets you survive a lethal attack for the next turn. And then we just fill up on Jelly Ultras. And since I actually don't have enough Jelly Ultras to completely fill it out, we'll just add a Shooting Star. And then we switch to Sushi. So, we just did the darkness part of the speedrun. Now we're going to do the light part of the speedrun. And we can also switch our badges. So we want to get rid of Recoil Throw. This will take me a little bit to get through. We don't want Dark Power, Dark Saber anymore. We don't need Defend Plus, but we do want to have the Power Plus. We're going to add Mega Smash, Mega Quake, the second Power Plus, not Head Start, Feeling Fine. We're going to add Stellar Nova. And there's one other, I believe. Oh, never mind, there's 3. It's Perfect Stand, Perfect Rush, and Perfect Saber. So, now that we're out of the Temple of Darkness, we're going to be able to use our Star Power again. So, and we'll be able to refill it with a Heart Block. But the Crystal Hall features the most powerful enemies in the game. And that's where we're heading. So to get into the Crystal Hall, you need Sushi. And then to break the seal, you need 5 of 7 stones. So the Knowledge Stone was the 5th one that we needed. And now that we've got that, we can switch to Cooper. And now we're in the Crystal Hall. So we have our Star Power back. Now we can use Stellar Nova. What this does is, for the next Star Power we use, the potency of it will be doubled. It also costs double the Star Power, but that doesn't matter. We have enough Star Power anyways. So we use Timeout. The Light Goombas are vulnerable to stop with a -2 turn modifier. So with a doubled potency, they're stopped for 6 turns. And their attacks are pretty slow, so skipping it is just much better. But at this point, we just spam attacks until they all go down. And that's where Mega Quake comes in, alongside Power Bomb. We won't need any items for this fight, because we will have enough flower points to get through it. I mentioned the Curse challenge previously. Whoops. Actually, that's okay. We'll still have enough damage. But this fight specifically has been done with all 3 curses active. And the strat for it is actually very fun. So, take a look at it after the run. But all we have to do is just keep spamming attacks, and they'll go down. Now, we will automatically get all our HP and all our FP back, as well as our star power, in between these fights. But that's the Light Goombas. So 1 down, 5 to go. Now the reason why I had a build specifically designed for this was so that I could go through the second fight without having to change badges at all. So once again, we're going to Stellar Nova Timeout, but this time it's only going to stop the chomps. The light bones that are in this fight as well, they are immune to all status, so we cannot affect them with this. But we can stop the light chomps, which lasts 6 turns. Now Hurricane was reworked from Vanilla. In the base game, it normally can blow enemies away, but here it deals water-type piercing damage. Now if you're noticing something peculiar, look at my HP. It was 50 before, and now it's only 44. And that's because the light bones, they deal permanent damage in this battle. So as long as they're up, our max HP will keep going down. So we have to kill them quickly. But we need to get rid of the chomps too, because they'll counterattack if they're able to move. So that's why we're trying to pierce their defense as much as possible. The reason why the light bones aren't getting affected by Hurricane is because they have unpierceable defense. Whoops. Yeah, I don't need Cloud9. If you're going to go for the Curse Challenge, Cloud9 is pretty much mandatory, but you don't need it here. But now we are going to double dip. We're going to Jelly Ultra. And that'll give us all our FP back, and we'll Hustle Drink. And then one more Hurricane takes out the light chomps. So all that remains now is the light bones. But now we have Hustle with Mega Smash. And now we can switch to Buzzatress. Buzzatress is the new partner, who is the princess of the empire below Toad Town. And the empire in question is of the Dark Beetles. But they see her as a traitor because, well, she defected. And she wanted to stop Bowser. Because he has the Dark Star. A good thing about the light bones is that they do at least help maintain perfect rush. So we do continue to get our attack increase even though our max HP is going down. So that is the light bones. So now we get rid of Mega Smash, Mega Quake. We don't need Stellar Nova for the next one. We get rid of the Perfect Badges and Power Plus. It's a lot of badges, but we add Recoil Throw. We do keep Double Dip in those, but we need to play more defensively. So we have to have Defend Plus, and we're going to re-add Perfect Stand, and then we need Head Start. As for our partner, we switch to Sushi. So we're going to face Light Bubbles and a Proto Bristle. The Light Bubbles are too hot to jump on with Ice Power, and their attack drops Mario's defense by 1. So we want to get rid of them immediately. I think that was 8. Yep. The Proto Bristle also has unpierceable defense, so all the more reason why we need to get rid of it quickly. And as you saw, the Proto Bristle hits 3 times. Another 8. So I'm trying to super guard it, but it is pretty hard to do. We're going to Miracle Golden to get our defense back. And Hustle Drink for the next turn. And then Tidal Wave. I think that was 10, which will deal 5 to the Proto Bristle. So we'll get a KO on the Proto Bristle in 4 turns. Or I should say 4 recoil throws. So we can actually Hustle Spell here, because we'll have enough damage and flower points to get it. So, that's the Proto Bristle. By the way, it is spiky against both jumps and frontal strikes, so don't approach it directly without Spike Shield. Now, we're going to remove our defense badges, but we're going to keep Head Start. We want Mega Jump. We're going to want Perfect Rush. Not Perfect Saver, though. We do, however, want Power Rush, Last Chance, and then Stellar Nova. And then we switch to Bow. So, this fight is terrifying. It is 2 Breezy Daisies and a Beastroyer. The Beastroyer has to go first. But we're going to Stellar Nova Lullaby. Because we want the Breezy Daisies out of commission. The Beastroyer is immune to all status, so we're using this solely for the Breezy Daisies. And then we add Fan Smack. So, watch this incoming attack. Boom, 49 damage. The only reason I survived from full health is because I have Perfect Stand, which cuts damage in half if you have full HP. And then I'm going to survive this next one using Last Chance, which lets you survive a lethal hit per battle, once per battle. And then Fan Smack. And then it's down. But now we have to deal with the Breezy Daisies. The Breezy Daisies their attack drops Mario's attack by 2 each time it lands. And then we're going to turbocharge Mario. So we're going to try to play this one pretty aggressively. That's 15 and another 15. So we have a KO on that Breezy Daisy this turn, even despite the attack drop, and despite losing Perfect Rush. We do 11, and then another 10. And that's just in time as the other Breezy Daisy is just recovered. Alright, so I will use the Miracle Golden again. And this time I'm using it to both recover my HP and FP, as well as get my attack back. Because we're not going to need the Miracle Golden in the next fight. But what we really need is just survivability. But you can see why I'm using Feeling Fine, because otherwise my partner would just be taken out of commission every turn. There's a super guard. We do 6 and 5. So now, this next one's a pretty fun one. But we need Mega Quake. We already have Stellar Nova, but we need both Power Pluses, the damage dodges, and then Perfect Stand. And our partner becomes Sushi. So this is another fight with Stellar Nova utility. So this is the light partners. And there's way too much to explain here, so if you want to understand the gist of it, it's Stellar Nova completely destroys this fight. Although it doesn't take all of them out of commission, it takes 5 of them out. And the ones taken out only have a -1 turn modifier, so they're stopped for 7 turns. And then we use AoE damage the rest of the way. So that's the reason to pick Tidal Wave. It hits everything and is the strongest AoE. So Sushi's first attack there, that light Sushi, its attack poisons Mario if it's not blocked. The attack from Light Bow was just a standard smack, which hits 6 times. But because she didn't deal really any damage with it, she's never going to use it again. But now we Mega Quake so that Cooper is knocked over. And because we have 3 defense, Fan Smack doesn't do anything either. I'm going to stop right there, because if you hit too many commands, with Tidal Wave, you could actually crash the game. And I don't want that happening. So I'm going to Jelly Ultra and Shooting Star. So this next turn, Light Watt will go down. Now if you don't block that, the belly flop from Sushi, then she'll take away a random battle command. Only 6, but that's still good enough. So Light Watt is down. Now I want to take out Light Bow, because that's the next one immune to Stop. So this is... It's very fitting that 3 defense is all you need. I think I got 9 there. Yep. There. So that's Light Bow. And now we're basically at no risk of crashing the game. So now we can hit Tidal Wave all we want. Ah. Could have been better there. But that's 2 more down. And we're going to Mega Quake. Super guarded both belly flops. Ah. That could have been better. Now I'm gonna hammer to get rid of Sushi. Because I've got 1 extra turn against Lackluster. So that's the Light Partners. And now finally, we get to the final fight. And this one, a lot more requires a defensive build. That should be all I need to get rid of there. But what I do need is Dark Smash. Dark Smash gets stronger based on the enemy's remaining HP percentage. So that's the reason to use that. We're going to add both Defend Pluses and then Right On. That is actually another badge that was coded, but was never used in the base game. But this is the Queen of Light. And as you can see, it looks like Princess Peach. So here, we need to hit hard and fast. We don't have a turn limit, but if we want to get out of the fight as quickly, the Queen's attacks get stronger as her HP gets lower, but the 5 defense build that we're using has its merits. And that'll be apparent when we get to the final phase, when the Queen has less than 1/3 of her HP remaining. So, yeah, I'm using Right On, and as you can see, I'm always going to get good timing on my attacks. So now we're going to use our first Yoshi Biscuit and Cake. So I want to deal damage to the Light Guardian that just got summoned. We are in phase 2 now. So her attacks are now stronger. And it can now drop our defense. Now I don't want to KO the Light Guardian immediately. But what I do need to do is get him away from the red form, because that attacks 3 times. Very nice super guards there. So now we will use the golden meal, which restores 99 HP and 25 FP, and also cures our status, and also reduces our move costs by 2 for 5 turns. If you're wondering why we don't just load up on Miracle Goldens and Golden Meals, it's because using one deletes all other copies from inventory. So there is good reason to not do so. Now fortunately we've got just enough damage here to get out of phase 2 before our defense gets dropped again. So here's what's going to happen. So that attack puts Mario in peril immediately. So we're going to try to recover quickly, and we're going to use the golden shroom cake now, because this will give us a lot faster regen. And then we're going to switch that form so it deals less damage. So Rainbow Bolts, which is that attack, can inflict all status in phase 3. But because we have 5 defense, all 6 of those bolts will do 0 damage. So it's literally 1 free turn. And actually I need to... I don't want the Light Guardians to be in the yellow form, because that buffs its attack and defense by 1. So, yeah, got to avoid that. But now here's where Dark Smash comes in. So, Dark Smash's multiplier can be up to 3x. So, we just dealt 15 damage. And that's going to continue increasing, even if the attack and defense goes down. So we use Gugario to deal an extra 9. And then 2 more Dark Smashes. So 14. 15. So we're getting close to time here. But at this point, we just continue attacking. We don't need to worry about the Light Guardian as long as we continue to survive. and then one more Dark Smash is enough. So we're not quite at time yet. And now we're at time. So, the Rainbow Stone gives us cheats. So now we can really go flying. And we have infinite jump, among other things. Yeah, that is Paper Mario Dark Star Edition, the Light and Darkness speedrun.
Well, since you came in a bit under estimate, is there anything else you wanted to show off for maybe a couple minutes?
Not really. Anything. If you guys are interested, join the Starhaven Discord. A lot of communication around Darkstar happens in its own chat in Starhaven, so check that out.
Okay. Well then.
Yeah.
Nicely done run. Very clean. From the video that you showed me before, you had made some mistakes. I don't think you made a single mistake in this run the whole way through.
Yeah, I did make some, but you can't really expect perfection. This is a pretty technical game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, we will go ahead and move on and throw you guys into intermission here. Up next is going to be SakuraSachiko's run of Banjo-Kazooie Jiggies of Chime. So, yeah, stay tuned.